2018 North American Car of the Year.
Tonight, it's racing's rare moment where man plus machine equals immortality. Takuma Sato knows the satisfaction all too well. He spread the good news all the way back to Japan, where he was welcomed as the rising sun.
What a terrible crash!
Sebastien Bordais knows the push and the perils, how bravery and bravado has made him as determined as ever.
It's my life. It's what I do.
And he's back home again, the voice of Jim Cornelison.
Back home again.
A new tradition at a place rich with it.
Start your engine!
The pressure builds towards racing's greatest spectacle right now on Trackside 6.
Live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this is an RTV6 News special, Trackside 6.
The Brickyard silent for now, but that's all about to change. It's Carb Day tomorrow and Sunday, the 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the world's greatest race course and race weekend here on RTV6. I'm Dave First. Brad Brown will be along here in just a moment. Been a great year for the reigning champ, right? Takuma Sato done a little bit of everything, celebrating that win a year ago, taking Indy to Japan while finding Japan here in Indy. His motto, no attack, no chance. Downtime is hard to come by when you're an Indy 500 champ, but when it comes to dinner time, chances are you might find Takuma Sato here.
So, yep. First question, what's good here?
Well, tons of things good.
Tons of things.
Guaranteed.
Welcome to Kazuki, where Sato-san is a regular, as is his manager Steve Fusik and his wife Sue.
I basically introduce many interesting foods to my manager Steve and Sue.
Foodie?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Professional eater.
And a place where he can't go unnoticed. A group of Japanese businessmen easily recognize him, making it a night of photos and food, and what he calls a proper ramen shop in his adopted hometown of Indianapolis.
Hello, how are you?
Why don't we start with the gyoza pork?
Pork gyoza?
Yeah, and then takoyaki.
Takoyaki?
Yeah. Are you okay with the octopus too?
Sure, yes.
You know, kind of easy, just afternoon snack things.
Afternoons.
Yeah.
Special occasions have become commonplace for Sato. A year ago, it was a very special one.
Sato goes side by side with Castro Neves to the high side of the start-finish line.
A showdown between Sato and one of the specialists of the Speedway, Elio Castro Neves.
Quick checkers out. History will be made.
Listen, awesome.
Ending with Sato becoming the first Japanese-born driver to celebrate in Victory Lane.
Winning the 500, how has that changed your life, or has it changed it at all?
It has changed. But the winning 500 is just over beyond over your imagination.
And it goes well beyond his own team. For 4 years before, he drove the 14 car for AJ Foyt Racing. Some of Takuma's favorite photos from that day are actually with them.
So this is the 14 boys.
Yeah.
Right? They come across to the pit lane and then high touch them.
That must have been emotional for you to see those guys, that they care that much to do that sort of thing.
Yes, very much. This is one of my favorite pictures. You know, AJ said he never goes to the winner's circle with somebody's car, and so he said it's the first time in history. So he said you're number one. Proud.
Chicken, all right.
Yeah, chicken karaage. There you go. This is a takoyaki. It's an octopus.
There's the octopus.
Yes.
Yummy. Yes. All right, let's dig in here.
Yes.
All right.
That's really good. I like it.
That really is quite good, yeah. Now, is that the octopus?
Yes, octopus. It's just a tiny bit.
No, I gotta try it.
Yeah. How do you like it? It's good, huh?
I like it. That's really good.
Yeah.
Does this make you feel at home at all when you come into a restaurant like this?
Sure.
And that's huge. That's important, isn't it?
It's very important.
He spoils you guys, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
She spoils him.
She spoils
Yes,
him.
I'm very spoiled. I'm very spoiled.
perhaps never more spoiled than when his Indy 500 celebration took him back to Japan, taking the Borg Warner Trophy to his annual fan club gathering, to Honda's headquarters, and to something called Honda Day, where the manufacturer hosts several of its different drivers from different forms of motorsports at their twin Ring Motegi racetrack. Sato's Indy 500 winning car was also flown in, same car, same Honda engine, taking laps in front of his countrymen. It's still the talk of motorsports there.
When you were able to take the trophy to Japan, it's never been out of the States anywhere before.
I think over 30,000 people came just for the
30,000 people were there. Wow.
And then beautiful Borg Warner Trophy. You know, they can see it at the first time. It's just so cool.
People are taking pictures of it. It must have been overwhelming for them, but for you, it must have brought it all home.
Well, I met the president.
Wait a minute. So you go fly all the way to Japan and then meet the president of the United States.
Correct.
That's a lot of power, by the way.
I mean,
Borg Warner Trophy and the president of the United States.
There you go.
Wow.
And if I run the winner.
They do it all.
Sure enough, during the same trip, Sato taking part in a state dinner with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was there with President Trump and the First Lady. All a part of a whirlwind that also saw him named one of GQ Japan's Men of the Year, as well as the top award from the country's automotive manufacturer organization. A far cry from how it all began for him, attending the 1987 Japanese Grand Prix. He was just 10 at the time, watching with his father, a proud man himself, who died after a battle with cancer in 2011.
That day, I got the dream. Wow, this thing is just incredible.
What do you think he would say now?
I don't know.
This journey you've been on.
Probably he'll be very proud of that. And he's just happy as I was just to keep going, having a dream and keep going to challenge it. That's I think what he's most proud of it, probably.
Sooner or later, for Sato, it all goes back to Japan. From race cars to culture.
Yeah, it's just a different culture. Like here, you can't make a noise, right? To having a suit. But in Japan, you have to make a noise.
What would you be doing if you weren't?
I have no idea.
Really?
I think everybody's same outside. I mean, even you.
So wait, so there wasn't a plan B?
Yeah. No, it's always.
Man. You were all in. That's great.
9 seasons and counting. The swing is back, relishing in the twists and turns of IndyCar and prepared for the many more to come.
Ultimately, what's your story going to be about when your career is all said and done?
I would say no attack, no chance. I had my dream. I believed in myself, and I believe the people who supporting me, and challenge. You have to try it. You have to try it.
Arigato. Thank you very much.
Arigato.
This has been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boy, what a crazy year, but to tell you what, he wouldn't mind doing it all over again. He's going to have that chance. He starts 16th on Sunday inside of row 6, and this his 9th Indianapolis 500. Back after.
Still to come, celebrating 60 years. An exclusive with AJ Foyt as Supertex looks back at his rough rookie year. Plus,
Trouble! Oh, what a crash! What a terrible crash!
And we're on the road in St. Petersburg, Florida, catching up with Sebastien Bordais from that vicious crash at Indy to victory lane. His remarkable story next on Trackside 6.
this is May. This is RTV 6.
What a scene last week, and a year after that horrific accident in qualifying. Sebastien Bordais tightened the safety belts, went out and qualified 5th for Sunday's race, part of a remarkable comeback. Welcome back to this Trackside 6 special. And you know, perseverance comes in many forms, but Seb's version is simply just on another level. Let there be no mistake. Bordais is back, and maybe, just maybe, better than ever. Race weekends can be as fast-paced off the track as they are on. Focus is everything. That's why for Sebastien Bordais and his family, there's no place like home. His getaway for the last 7 years, St. Petersburg, Florida, where he keeps his trophies he's racked up since his move from France.
The trifecta of Toronto, where I managed to get every single one of them.
And a place that played a crucial role after an incident forever known as the crash.
It's going to be a part of my history now, so I mean, it's going to come back every now and again.
Yeah.
It's part of what Google knows when you type my name, which is the first thing that comes back, which is kind of sad because I think I've achieved quite a bit in my career, but one thing that comes back that's gotten the most hits ever, you know, in my career is definitely that stupid crash.
He can laugh about it now, but then...
Trouble! Oh, what a crash! What a terrible crash!
An impact estimated at 227 miles an hour. The moments immediately afterwards excruciating for friends, family, and race fans everywhere. In the end, Seb suffered a broken right hip, multiple pelvic fractures, and broken ribs. And with recovery coming, he wondered if he'd ever race again.
It was stressful. For me, the hardest part was what I kind of anticipated when I was starting to feel much better, but yet the fact that I really didn't know how things were leading up. That was the big, like, okay, you know, you start to think.
But he kept smiling through it all, with the biggest moment coming 6 weeks after the incident, when he found out, indeed, the bones were healing properly. A relief for Seb, his career, but also his wife, Claire.
Once I knew there were not going to be long-lasting effects and something that was going to prevent me from getting back in the car, it's my life. It's what I do. I just don't see my life without it. It obviously was a lot harder for Claire and the family.
Claire's not a fan of the Speedway.
A lot less so now, for sure.
Understandable, for sure.
You can't deny the fact that, you know, on the super speedways, the speeds being what they are, things can go sideways really bad. And I think, you know, we've seen it before and we've seen it again last year. And you know, thankfully I made it, but you know, a few degrees, and you know, maybe I wouldn't be talking about it.
You got it?
But Sebastien was ready to go again, and it would begin in the waterways behind his house, kayaking, 7-mile trips twice a week, with the goal of returning to race again, just 3 months later.
I tried to reduce the muscle loss as much as possible, so I tried to stay as active as I could. I just really wanted to come back before the end and kind of be able to just say, you know, here, you know, it's still the same guy, and I'm back.
He was back all right. He finished 10th at Gateway, then 9th at the season finale at Sonoma. And to kick off this season,
Twin checkers out, and Sebastien Bordais goes back-to-back on the street.
a win in his adopted hometown of St. Pete, as he savored every second of his victory lap.
You said you had a moment, too, in the helmet.
Yeah, I had to vent. I didn't want to cry like a baby on camera, and so I don't know, it kind of overwhelmed me, and I just let it go, and so the first half of the in-lap was really, really slow because I could barely see where I was going, and then after that I kind of collected myself.
A comeback complete, and Claire smiling wider than ever. A life made up of family, Florida, and a lot of perseverance.
It's a very, very calm and quiet neighborhood.
A balance for the Bordais that, yep, it brings them home, and peace every time.
The quality of life here is just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just great to be able to come home and you know, chill and just, you know, have that peaceful scenery and throw the kayak in the water and take the boat to, you know, islands and whatnot.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm feeling very privileged for sure.
Sebastien feels like he's even stronger now than before the accident. The family might be stronger as well. His mom and dad have been here all month long. A huge support system for a huge race.
Coming up, he's back home again. Brad Brown visits the man who's continuing one of the Speedway's rich race day traditions.
And we're in Houston, Texas. A stroll down memory lane 60 years after AJ Foyt's rookie year at the Speedway. Catching up with Super Tex on a Throwback Thursday as we continue here on Trackside 6.
Commerce Insurance and Teachers Credit Union.
I'm not going to say it's been a while since AJ Foyt's cars qualified as high as 10th, but you got to go back a good decade. And AJ is smiling this weekend. Tony Kanaan qualified 10th for Sunday's race. Rookie Mateus Leis qualified 11th. Welcome back to Trackside 6. They're upbeat right now with AJ Foyt Racing, but that's not the only storyline for Super Tex. The 83-year-old icon is also celebrating 60 years. 60 years since his rookie run. Foyt's first 500. And tonight's Trackside 6 Throwback Thursday. AJ Foyt might have been the first four-time champion at Indianapolis, but his first race at the Speedway had a much different tone. It was 1958, and the 23-year-old was replacing fan favorite Jimmy Bryant, driving the Dean Van Lyne's Offie.
Well, Clint Bronner and Jimmy Bryant won championships and all that, and here I'm a little old rookie, from Texas. Man, I said, hey, no way I can fill his shoes,
AJ was skeptical, but he meets former Indy pole winner Pat O'Connor at Salem earlier that year. The two hit it off. If only every relationship at Indy came as naturally.
I couldn't get in the pits for a week and a half. I come in to sign in, and who are you driving for? I said, I'm driving for Clint Bronner, Dean Van Lyne. The car's not here yet. I said, yeah. Can I get a pit pass something? No. You stay outside till the car's here. I think it's about a little over a week. I walked around outside the garage there, couldn't get in.
Once inside, everything is new, from the garages to the bricks lining the front stretch.
Felt like you come off of a trailer and went down a dirt road with holes in it. It was really rough. You didn't have nice seats like they got now. You just had a cushion you sat on.
But the rookie puts it in the show. Qualifies 12th, the speed of 143.130 miles an hour.
The one thing about the rookie test there, if you made one mistake, you come back next year. I was nervous, and the drivers are out watching you then, too, on the racetrack. And they all said I looked all right, so it relieved me a lot.
Then comes race day. The fans start lining up 3 days early to get in. Tickets are a mere $15, and nothing beats the start, except for this year.
What I remember about it, they tell you in the driver's meeting, don't do this, don't do that, but nobody said nothing about a big wreck down in turn 3.
It begins when Ed Elysian tries to pass Dick Rathman for the lead. Some 15 cars are involved. Rookie Jerry Unser survives a flip. Foyt's pal, O'Connor, does not.
After I spun through the wreck, I didn't hit nothing, fortunate enough. I got to thinking the rest of the day, this might be too rough for AJ Foyt. I better go back home to the local tracks because I didn't think I was man enough to do it.
Foyt soldiers through the rest of the 3-hour and 44-minute race. Bryant goes on to win after AJ spins again at lap 149 to finish 16th.
After that, I lost good friends in midgets. Then I lost a lot of them in sprint cars. And I don't know, I was just a little old Texas boy coming up, and I wasn't used to that.
Foyt's perseverance pays with wins in 1961, 64, 67, and 77. His final win celebrated in a victory lap with Speedway owner Tony Holman. A far cry from the kid who once struggled before finding fame and fortune at the Indianapolis 500.
And I think one of the happiest moments of my life, Mr. Holman right around Victor Circle with me. He watched me grow up winning, and I would feel that I might have been one of his favorites. I'm just so glad he lived to see me be the first four-time winner.
Still to come, a look ahead to May's crown jewel of auto racing, who will add their likeness to the famed Borg-Warner Trophy. Plus,
on race day, he'll sing Back Home Again in Indiana, but here at a home game, he's known as the anthem singer. I'm Brad Brown in Chicago. We go behind the scenes with Jim Cornelison when this Trackside 6 special continues.
If the United Center is the theater and center ice is center stage, then Jim Cornelison is the leading man.
People identify with the team, with the market, and with success, and they identify with the anthem tradition that we have.
To walk these halls is to walk with a Blackhawks celebrity, a man of the people, and that voice. Yes, that voice.
It's everybody's song, and you got to sing it for them. You want to move them, and so I try to bring that energy, and and like, hey, this is something to unify us. This is something to feel good about, and let's take this moment to feel good.
This is Jim's 10th season as a national anthem singer here at the United Center. 20,000 strong for the Blackhawks each and every night. It is a visceral experience unique to anywhere in professional sports. Loud and proud from the very first note.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove all hats. And join organist Frank Pellico and soloist Jim Cornelison with the singing of the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you
see? You get goosebumps, right? And chills, and experiencing that power of the anthem in that way was something I had never done before.
And now Jim gets ready to return to the Speedway on race day.
Did you get a sense when you were standing up on that stage, the scope and scale of the whole thing?
The scope and scale is too big to really comprehend or draw in at the moment, and even with that song, it's a performance. I want to move the crowd in some way and do it in a way that's kind of me, and that was really special. I got to tell you, it really was last year doing that.
And Jim's been in town to sing the anthem for the Indy Fuel and the Pacers. It'd be great to see him here on race day.
Pardon the goosebumps that I have right now. He is spectacular. Carb Day coverage begins at 5 a.m. tomorrow right here on RTV6. And enjoy the 102nd running of the Indy 500 this weekend.